Hi, I'm Mr. Scripps, and the purpose of this video is to introduce you to the English A Language and Literature course. So briefly, to describe the course's aims, I would say its purpose is to help students develop stronger reading, writing, and verbal communication skills because of the importance that these skills have in so many different areas of our lives. To do this, we cover a wide variety of genres of writing and number of readings over the course of the 2 years that the class takes. Half of the time we study non-literary text types. These include different types of news articles, pages from websites, essays, advertisements, social media, and speeches, and even infographics, to name a few. And our interest in these is because, first of all, they're the texts that we see most often in our daily lives. And if you think about it, they all have a purpose behind them that we should understand in order to respond to them in the proper ways. Should we agree with an argument that we read, for example? Should we trust the information in a source that we read? How do we understand the information brought to us in an image? How do we understand our emotional responses to imagery that we see and to slogans and catchphrases in ads, for example? So we can understand how these texts are written to tap into human psychology and the role that they play in our society to influence our thinking and our actions. The other half of the course looks at literary texts. So these are the more standard ones that you're used to studying probably in your English classes. We will study 6 works of literature over the course of the class. They will be novels, collections of short stories, plays, and poem collections. And the style of reading and analyzing these is a little bit different from our approach to studying, for example, an op-ed piece in the newspaper or an advertisement or those other types of non-literary texts I was discussing. We'll use literary analysis skills to interpret the poetry and the plays and the stories that we read, and that involves a whole nother set of concepts that are really useful for supporting us in being able to understand artistic uses of language and not just functional, practical uses of language like we saw in those nonfiction text types. To show our understanding of these concepts and the ideas going on in the writing, we'll be doing a lot of writing ourselves. We'll be writing numerous analytical essays. We'll be writing argumentative essays where we support our point of view on the topics that we're studying. And we'll be doing creative writing as well, where we imitate the genres that we study to show our understanding of them in that way. All of this is going to prepare you for the IB requirements that the course has. The course can be taken at a higher level or a standard level. And at both levels, students are required to write 2 essays for the final exam in the course. They are required to do an oral presentation, although the exact form of the exams and the grading expectations for the presentation and the exams differ between the higher level and standard level, with standard level having slightly lower requirements. The higher level of the course also requires you to do what's called the HL essay, which is a 1,500-word academic paper that you'll be turning into the IB along with everything else for you higher level students. The overall purpose of the course and value of the course is, I would say, to help you figure out where you stand on the essential questions of life. It's not just to gain knowledge of the different genres of writing that I was just discussing and to make yourself into someone who can write clearly and correctly. It's to really reflect on some of the big questions that challenge us as human beings and to work together with your classmates to practice the the skills required to discuss oftentimes controversial and very complex topics in order to find answers and compromises and agreements together as a group. It's a wonderful class. It can be really entertaining with lots of laughs, and it can also be really serious and thought-provoking. And I look forward to having you join me in it. See you next year.